Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Team Fortress TV. I am joined tonight by Ombrack on the Fellowcast and Beta on the camera, and we are going to be casting the Week 3 official between Se7en and Elektro on the maps Koth Product, and the second map will be CP Gullywash. Ombrack, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay, and once more, I feel like every game this season is going to be entertaining, and this one should not fail us, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Elektro have had some tough games going into this the beginning of this season, but they've always posted close results. I think that this is another game where it could be a dominant fashion win for Se7en, but then at the same time you could see an upset from Elektro, especially on the second map, Gullywash. I think Product might be a bit more clear cut, but what do you think? Do you think it's going to be close?
I'm pretty much expecting from Se7en what we saw on week 2. They played against who was it? I think it was Swift, and I predicted it to be kind of close on the CP map. It was Granary and kind of a roll on Swift and on Product, and this is pretty much what happened. I feel like Aura doesn't stand a chance on Product. Maybe I shouldn't say that if I want to keep our viewership, but I feel like it's going to be really tough for Aura on Product, but if they have a shot, this is going to be on Gullywash. Mostly because we'll go over the roster in a bit, but mostly because Domo is playing instead of Cadis, and this gives Se7en a clear edge on Product, but not as a big one on Gullywash.
Yeah, I think that the one thing that's the one strength that Elektro does have is their coordination with their soldiers, and then the aggression follow up from Eames on demo, which is something that you could utilize on Product, but obviously the soldiers get shut down a lot more on a map like Product, where it's obvious where they're going to be bombing from. Whereas on Gullywash, you've got the underneath part of the middle where soldiers can really use that to either go behind and drop down or jump from a more unseen place. So they can have a lot more effectiveness on the mid fights, especially. Also, I think now that Domo's playing instead of Cadis, at least so far this season, I think it's brought a bit of a higher level of DM to the combo. You see the return of Captain as well on Pocket. Ams obviously was on Pocket last season for them, is very good, but I just feel like Captain's just so solid, and he really knows how to play around Raymond in an effective manner that still gives heals to his demo man, but also is pumping out that damage. So I think that their combo's been revitalized this season with the addition of Domo.
Yeah, I remember Thaga after the last game they had last week. He said that he thinks this roster is better than what they previously had. So, but before we go any further, I say we go through the rosters in a bit formal way, so everybody knows who we're talking about. I'll let you go first. I pick any team and I'll do the other.
Okay, so I'll pick Se7en then. So on the scouts we have Tiger on the aggro scout, and we have Thalash on the pocket scout. Then on our soldiers, we have Captain on Pocket Soldier, and we have Stocky on Roma Soldier this season. Then we have Domo on Demo Man and Raymond on Medic.
And on the side of Elektro, this is pretty much a team that, not pretty much, somewhat the team that attended I63. The scouts are Nevo and Marosh. Is a new addition to the roster this season. The rumor is Zunis. The Pocket Soldier is Pappy, another new addition from Swift. Demoman is Ims, is also the leader of the team, and the medic is Demos. I don't know if you want to talk a bit about Elektro. You mentioned they're the last team in the tables right now, but I don't think that's really representative of how good they are. They had a couple of tough games to begin with. I think they played Feint, and I don't remember who was the first one.
Was the other game,
so it's
which
a
was
really
again
rough
really close,
start.
So.
Yeah,
exactly.
They probably playing the top 3 teams of the league for the first 3 weeks, so it's pretty rough on them. How do you think they can rebound after the first 2 losses that were really close? You mentioned that they didn't lose by a big margin. So how would you think they would fare against Se7en? Do you think they should just give up on this week and just focus on the 4 next, or do they have a shot tonight?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Elektro for the past 2 seasons now have got the reputation of always wanting to scrim Se7en, which is a good reputation to have. They want to improve and they want to scrim Europe's best. But then again, as you mentioned, Tiger said, and I completely agree with this. I think this roster is better than it ever has been. If I'm perfectly honest, the addition of Domo's really rejuvenated, and obviously we see Captain and Raymond rejoining this squad, and Starkey on Roma, which he did back on the team. When was it? I-55 when he was playing with Nerd Rage. He played Roma. So I think that this roster is really, really strong, and no disregard to Elektro. I think that they can play them close, especially on the second map, as we mentioned earlier. But I really think that Se7en will be disappointed if they don't take all 6 points in this official. I really think that Se7en should be aiming to get like a perfect sweep this season. I think that this is one of the teams that can play them close, like including Ascent, obviously, and Feint. But I think the maps for this week don't play really to Elektro's strengths. I think that both of these maps are very, very strong maps for Se7en, especially Product now with the addition of Domo. I think if they caught them on a map like Snakewater, it might have been a different story, because that's notoriously not a great map for Se7en. But again, who knows? Because with the addition of these two players, or Starkey moving to Roma and Domo on demo, it's like very difficult to predict like how they're going to play on these maps now.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I think Se7en should take this, but I think when you look at this from the side of Aura, maybe I think when we ask them, they would probably say they want to win, of course, because I don't know many people who go into a game with the losing mindset, but it's not that much about the result. I think it's also about how they play. I think Aura, you mentioned a little bit, has that reputation of being really good against Se7en because they played them so much, they kind of know their strats. But I want to say that was with the old Se7en, the one with Amps and the Disky, and all this pre-I-63 era. And I don't think now they're as confident with the Se7en strat that they used to be. But yeah, I think when you're Aura right now, you want to like get things ready for the rest of the seasons and try to set up like correct the flows you had in the previous games, and even if you don't win this game this week, you'd rather want to be ready for the coming games. So I think it's not going to be up to like, I'm pretty sure if they can take the win, they will take it. I have no worries about that, but I think it's more about trying to get some of that cohesion back. Marosh and Pappy are two new additions, and maybe they have some trouble fitting in the team, especially Pappy he's a really vocal heavy player. He used to main call for all the teams he played in, or at least co-call, and I feel like with Eames he needs to take a new position in that team, but we'll see how it goes because this is starting, Samski.
Yeah, so once again, this is the Week 3 official between Se7en and Elektro on Season 31, sponsored by Copenhagen Games and S31 Trading. This is Koth Product on the first map, as we do see both Demoman taking the slope route for the first mid-fight. We do see straight away a massive bomb there from Azunis, but he's going to get cleaned up quickly by Tiger. Starkey's gone behind onto the concrete, and Captain's also jumped behind. We do see at the moment Starkey's going to land straight onto the medic. This medic's going to surf away here. And now both teams have lost one player each, but there's a more predominant presence from Se7en on the point.
Yeah, Domo is extremely good at this, man. He just know when to pressure the cap. He did extremely well and just rain pipes on everyone. But it looks like Elektro, they don't want to get left on the side here. They try to fight their way back onto the middle point. Nobody really quite capped it yet, but it looks like Se7en is going to get it. And wisely, I see them also already quite far back. Don't want to get caught off guard. So yeah, kind of a clean mid. I think only Starkey and Azunis died at the beginning, and I'm pretty sure they exchange an air shot when they do their double bomb, so that was funny to watch. And now Eames is taking the lead. They're taking the trade actually, maybe a bit overconfident here, because Eames is completely on his own. He's trying to get a solo against Domo, who is in the same situation. And now it's going to be interesting to see how the after fights go, because I see Starkey once again going in the back lines.
Yeah, Starkey's really well at playing this position. He's actually going to pick up Azunis with the help of Tiger there. So that's already one pick there, and he's just going to be a nuisance behind. He's got the pack, and he's going to jump right onto the medic here. Going to get a nice rocket onto there, and he's just going to stay playing behind. He's going to get another nice rocket onto Marish. He's going to pick him off, and he's going to get onto Demos as well. Eventually goes down and never gets cleaned up in the place. A massive play there from Starkey. And with the hills now firmly in the grasp, it looks like Azunis is the only one. He's going to get one rocket onto Raymond, but he's going to survive. Down to 50 HP, but he's going to get that pack. And actually, that pick from Azunis there might have stopped Se7en from getting a forward hold going.
Yeah, like the aggression did enough damage onto Domo and the rest of his teammates not to allow them to forward hold. But that play from Starkey was completely... That's crazy how good they are playing behind, like both him and Captain. And now Eames once again trying to get early in, but Arzun's got picked up by Secret Trap, and this is already looking extremely bad. Pappy died as well, no soldiers on the side of Aura Elektro, and even if Eames does quite a decent damage onto Domo, this isn't enough because everybody's dying now. That's 3 death already for Aura, and now the bomb is coming from both Captain and Tiger trying to get some ground covered, and it looks like they want to try to get a forward hold set up even though they haven't wiped Aura Elektro, so that's quite a really aggressive and interesting play. It looks like Aura Elektro got completely pulled back to their last without trading Ubers. That's really impressive from Se7en.
Yeah, they just soaked up that aggression there and completely dominated. Starkey's going to take a buff. He's just peeking main to see if anyone was pressuring there, but they're going to wait for Azunis to get up here, and let's see what they're going to try and do. Azunis actually on the pyro. He's going to be trying to bust his way through this left spawn. He's going to try and push them back, and the soldier's going to come in, get one nice rocket on, and he's going to drop him! Pappy getting a nice rocket onto Raymond there. He's going to go down, and the Uber does come out from demos, but we do see 2 players behind. Starkey and Tiger both behind, and Tiger's absolutely dominating right now. He gets picked off. He's going to get eventually go down. And do we have a pause already?
Unless Starkey learned how to levitate into mid-air, I think this is a pause indeed, and I don't really know what went through Raymond's mind here. I think he was kind of worried that Captain would shoot the pyro and that the deflected rocket would come his way, so that's why I think he looked at the pyro, and the Pappy, I mean, he hit the 2 direct, so props to him, and got the drops, and that completely broke that situation. But that play from Tiger kind of salvaged a bit the whole thing, preventing Aura to get comfortable on their side, so don't worry, stream, because there's gonna be the timer is still going down even though there's a pause, but it doesn't mean this is the actual time. But look at this, Demos has been healing the whole time, Samski, and we know there's a bug now with the pause. If the medic is healing, even if the pause is active, it's gonna build his Uber, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Demos with a full Uber charge.
Well, I mean, that would be correct if we weren't watching the game 90 seconds behind the actual pause.
Don't tell them. Don't tell them. This is a storyline. This is like how you build suspense and stuff like that. But yeah,
I mean,
okay.
I mean, he might be he might be healing in the future as well. But in this certain situation, I think it's safe to say that Starkey's going to go down. I do also see that Captain's.
Can you see future maybe?
I don't know, maybe. I do see Captain also about to wall jump off the side, so maybe he's going to put some aggression, and we do see Demis is on 70 HP, so he's pretty weak as well. But, you know, before the clock went down, as actually the pause is going to come out, and we do see Captain actually landing onto Demos, but completely missing. He's going to pick off Marish, as we do see. So, yeah, I mean, we did see before the pause that the clock was pretty far down for Se7en anyway, so it's going to be a struggle for Aura Elektro to hold this round.
Well, they need pretty much the perfect round to take it, so it's going to be really tough on them. I think Pappy is already a bit overextending. He's getting really weak by the scout, but he lives anyway, and looks like this is going to be a fight. I don't think any of the medics have Uber because my HUD is broken, but I think this is the situation now. And again, Starkey is going in the backlines. He's done it so well so far. I think that Azunis wasn't able to replicate until now. He got
that was so weak. He's going to go down. Starkey's going to pick him off while he was on 90%, and they're going to clean house here. Thalash picking off Pappy, and even though Raymond went down in the backlines, they're going to wait they're going to wait. This is really smart. They're going to wait for Raymond to spawn so he can get the faster respawn and then cap it out. And with 20 seconds left and it's completely equal Ubers, this is looking dire for Aura Elektro right now.
Well, I don't think they can take it. Demos is still going in. I think Raymond has better positions right now. Yeah, he brought the heals to the middle while Aura Elektro is still kind of the back end of the slope, so they're gonna eat all the spam. I can see already Eames extremely weak in the bomb. Again, I feel like Starkey and Captain just gave the run to their team. They played so well throughout the whole round, especially Starkey. Like, you want to say Product isn't really a sort of friendly map, but the job they can do with so little heals is really mesmerizing.
So we do see the next round going in as Eames getting there substantially faster than Domo. Straight away we see a massive aggressive bomb there from Starkey. He's going to land on the cliff and they actually have no idea. He's going to land straight on the point, get a massive rocket onto Eames. He's going to go down. Pappy is going to do some work in the backlines while this is going on. But look at that. Already Se7en have completely controlled this mid-fight. And once again, Starkey's just doing so much work.
Well, the difference between Starkey and I'll wait for the aggression of Papi. But yeah, the difference between Starkey and Zunis is Starkey is supported by Captain when he bombs in, whereas Papi isn't helping Zunis at all, just waiting on his China. So from the eagle eye, this is why I can tell this is the mistake Aura Elektro is doing at the moment. I think Papi and both Starkey dead, so it's a soldier down for both teams. The Uber has been used by Raymond and Demos connected a bit, so it could be better. Tiger dead as well, so the afterfight could be extremely good.
Zunis is behind
for
as
Aura
well.
Elektro.
Zunis was trying to wait for the Uber to be, but he got spotted by Thales just at the end there. Raymond's going to be holding really passive on the left side, and they're actually going to rotate round, as we do see finally Aura Elektro getting the cap. They hardly got any time whatsoever in the last round, so it's good to see them getting some pressure on now. Domo's going to be ultra aggressive here, and the bombs are going to completely follow up. Starkey's going to land on Nevo's head, and once again do a nice rocket there onto Papi as well. He's just doing so much work at the moment.
Yeah, and I think Eames has identified how to beat Se7en. Mostly would pressure a lot the medic, but I feel like they need to pressure Domo if they want to have a shot at this. And as I say that, the high bomb is coming from, I think it's Starkey once more, and they're going to help him back. Starkey, that's incredible! How does he do it all the time?
He's doing... Oh, this is just crazy. I keep saying the same thing, but Starkey is absolutely carrying his team right now. He does the same bomb, he just lands straight behind, and it's like none of the scouts are shooting at him. It's like they're trying to ignore him, but at the same time they're not walking forward and they're just walking backwards straight into where Starkey wants that. And he's going to pick off the scout and the medic, and now full advantage for Raymond and Se7en.
I don't know what Nebo and Marosh are doing, because Starkey shouldn't be allowed to do that. Eames is double sticky jumping onto Raymond, but got cleaned up so quickly by Tiger and Thalash. And this is what Nebo and Marosh should do when it comes to the bombs of Starkey, because, I mean, he shouldn't be allowed to do that so freely. And I don't know if it's about positioning or focus targets or just calls, but Starkey shouldn't be allowed to do that, even with the help of Captain. And with everybody dead onto Aura, no, Demo slipped, so but still forward holding is going to be really tough to break, because it's only 1 minute before the run goes to 7.
Yeah, that was a 4-man sack and they didn't get the Uber. The Pirate is going to be trying to come forward here. He's going to get one nice reflex and he's going to push them back. And Papi once again landing on the medic. He's going to get one nice rocket, and Derek Raymond doesn't want to drop here now. They need to focus down the players, and Demos is backed off into spawn to hold that Uber. And even though they've got 2 picks here, I think they're going to have to fall back. They have got a full advantage. They're going to keep that Pyro going, and they're just going to pressure them back. But Domo doesn't want to give this up. He's spamming them really hard. And the Uber's going to get forced out there. Going to get cleaned up, Captain. And Starkey's fell down very weak. He will also get cleaned up. And we do see really massive aggression there from Eames. He's going to land on the platform. And this is much better from Aura Elektro. They're completely going in straight away.
They're done capping. Yeah, finally Marsh is capping. But I think like that Uber wasn't... When you think about it, that Uber didn't kill anyone that was in the beam region. Like, they killed Starkey and Captain because they were behind, forcing the Uber, but nobody like Domo or Raymond died. So when you want to have an Uber, you want it to be efficient, and this one wasn't really that good.
Oh my god.
And Papi gets Raymond, so this could actually be a reset, because they haven't capped yet.
Oh
Se7en,
my god, Starkey! Starkey came behind again and cleaned up Eames and Demos, and wow, it's just... I mean, it's all well and good Papi picking off Raymond there, but if their medic goes down as well, then it's just really not going to make a difference. And Tiger and Thalash at the moment are absolutely pounding as well. They're just taking every fight. Marish does eventually pick down Tiger, but it just seems like the scouts from Aura Elektro are so passive.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like the way they want to play, or if it's they just can't do anything against the aggression, but they really need to fix things, because
well, Zunis picks off Raymond as well.
That's really good. Maybe this is the time where Aura Elektro makes a comeback, but this is going to be really tough on them. And I can already see Starkey once more with the bombing, but it got denied finally by Nevo and Marosh. Captain does as well. So is Domo. So this is the first time Aura Elektro is able to deny properly the aggression. Even Tiger feeds after everybody else, so maybe not the best decision here. But finally, looks like they figured something out, something different is happening now for Aura Elektro, and this is their time to get a try at the forward hold, but no, it doesn't work.
Oh my god, Starkey still picks off Papi even though it got super denied there. And Demos actually doesn't have Uber yet. Eames is going to fall down very weak. He's going to get picked off there. Maybe some miscommunication there from the medic and Demo. And the Uber's going to get forced off in a really poor position. Raymond is maybe going to be able to get back here. I think Marish is just a bit too far away, and Domo does well to deny him there. We do see Captain actually still behind, and I don't think that they are aware of him being on cliff, so he's probably just going to hide here. He has actually rocket jumps now, so they're going to know, and he'll do well to be able to get out here. He's actually going to get cleaned up by Marish, but we do see full Uber advantage for Raymond. and they've only got 13 seconds left on the point as well, so they can use this to really pressure out Aura Elektro.
Yeah, Demos will need to be careful about his positioning right now. You don't want to get caught off guard by the Uber, and it looks like Se7en, they don't really want to use it, they're just edging the cap. The bomb is coming from Papi, forcing the Uber onto Raymond, and now Demos is already extremely weak. Maybe he's gonna get, yeah, Domo gets in with a sticky of death, and now this is gonna be really hard for Aura Elektro. The health isn't really good for Se7en, so maybe there's a shot if the focus target is done properly.
All alone.
But yeah,
all alone,
they're
always.
so scattered across all the points, and even though it kind of works out, only Nevo died, but I feel like they could have been done better with a better focus fire. And now, only 10 seconds for Aura Elektro. If they cap it, they can do it, but they need to be really efficient with the next fight.
Yeah, and Eames is constantly playing by himself, and that's a massive collapse there onto Marish. Azunis going down, Papi going down. Oh my god, Se7en at his best here. Aura Elektro just rushed that push, they went in one by one, and the soldiers just absolutely collapsed on their heads, did so much damage, and that's going to be 2-0. That was really well played there from Se7en. They kind of just, you know, allowed them to keep getting that capture point down, but they cleaned up the players behind to keep Raymond alive, and once Demos was down, they always knew that they were in a position with heal advantage there.
The perfect bait, even though Marosh did his best, he couldn't really... Well, I mean, that was better, so maybe just hope for Aura Elektro in that third round. Look at Papi once more, he's not doing anything aggressive, just waiting here while Azunis is alone on the backline, trying to draw the attention from Tiger, and it does work quite well. I mean, this time Azunis hasn't died yet, nobody actually has died at all, and it's a never-ending fight. Raymond's already quite low, Azunis on the backline to make everybody from Se7en looks at him, he even gets Salash, so that's a really amazing play here, even for Azunis, but it looks like his team wasn't really
oh my god, these rockets from Captain. Clears off Eames, gets a massive rocket onto the scout as well. Papi's going to fall down very weak, and this is where Se7en really need to get aggressive, put that damage down, but Tiger's going to get picked off. Domo was already backing off because he had nothing loaded, and that's going to be the first capture on the third round, going to Aura Elektro.
Yeah, and I think it's prop to Azunis here. This time he didn't fed early, just pretty much like what Starkey did, just kind of draw the attention from Se7en, and his team took that ground that was given to them so they could walk forward. And now it's got to be pretty much the same situation we've seen. The Uber has been used really early by Raymond, and now Demos enters with his own Uber. Tiger dives, so again, this after could be really good.
Oh my god, Raymond falls down so weak, he got juggled and he was down to 50 HP, but manages to escape with his life. He's gone so weak, he's going to get jumped. Azunis picks up Raymond, and Nevo and Marish are going to clean up Captain and Stark as well. Massive play there from Azunis. He's really turning up this round, and Demos has massive advantage. He just needs to stay alive while Domo and Saxon, both the scouts for Se7en are still alive. They're trying to pressure the medic. Just Tiger left. He's going to fall down very weak, and he's eventually going to get cleaned up. Surely he does go down. Really well played there. Nevo's on a 5-kill spree there.
Yeah, and Marosh was the scout to look for Aura next round, but last round. But this time this is Nevo. I mean, if they take the roles one after the other, this is probably better than nobody doing anything at all for Aura Elektro, and no cap time going for Se7en at all. 1 minute down the pipe already for Aura Elektro. The bomb is coming against from Starkey, but it looks like he's not as lucky as he was earlier, because this time the retaliation is way better from Aura Elektro, but they gave up so much ground. Now they're coming back in. The Uber is used maybe by Demos onto Eames. It wasn't really flashed though, so he can't go as forward as he wants to, but maybe he can get Raymond. Yeah, Raymond once more caught out of position. No scout was with him to help him get out, and now if they can't get Demos, this is a really convincing run so far from Aura Elektro.
Yeah, they're playing really well. They're dealing with Starkey jumping behind so well, but oh my god, Starkey's gonna pick off Demos! And that was the pick they needed. Raymond has only just spawned though, and it looks like Captain, is he gonna fall down as well? No, he's managed to get back into spawn. But they are only 2 players at the moment. It's just Tiger and Raymond are fighting on the point. They need their respawns to come through, and 2 minutes have already gone down the clock for Aura Elektro on this round.
They can't win this fight though, because Eames is getting picked off right off the bat by Captain, and Domo gets another one. Nevo see his kill streak going back to 0. It was quite even, so maybe I'm interested to see if Aura wants to take it dry, but it's gonna be really tough, because even though Se7en they don't have Uber quite yet, they're still holding this really forward. So it's gonna be really tough for Aura Elektro to break this. Azunis once more onto the power beacon.
Oh my god,
annihilated. So does Papi by Captain. That was masterpiece from Captain. That air shot just completely denied the aggression from Papi. And
oh my god, Tiger!
He gets 2! How does he do it?
Both the scouts just rushed into spawn. Sorry, not the scouts. Starkey and Tiger just rushed into spawn there from Cliff. while they were all focusing on that left-hand side, and they managed to pick off the medic. Raymond's going to get forced on the point there. Nice play there from Azunis, and Pappy's actually behind as well. Good distraction play. He's going to try and put some damage onto these spawners. He's got a massive rocket there onto both players. He's going to pick off Starkin. He's still behind now, and Raymond needs to back off and keep himself alive on this left-hand side.
And it looks like once more Aura Elektro will be able to get up that round, and they only have 50 seconds to take the round, so it's actually really doable for them. They even have 25% Uber ad, so if they know about this, they can take a really aggressive Uber when they have it, maybe bait Se7en onto that point and try to retaliate with their own Uber, but Azunis dying or that early isn't really going to help their cause, and now it's going to be really tough for Aura Elektro. Look at them, how bullied they get back to their cliff, almost all the way back to that spawn door, and now Eames, he has the Uber almost. The Pappy dies as well, so they need to stop feeding, stop bleeding bodies, and have a convincing Uber. It's just not.
Oh,
this is
no,
not a convincing
Never
Uber.
and Marish both get dropped at the same time as the Uber popping off. Azunis is going to get picked off as well, and Raymond is sitting at 98%. So that Uber was completely wasted there. Massive play there from the flank to pick off those two scouts just before the Uber came out. Nice pipe there to get onto Tiger, and he's going to take an arrow just in time for the rocket to hit his face. That was a massive arrow there just to keep him alive. Captain's going to get picked off there from a little overextension, not really needed there, but we do see a massive Uber ad from Raymond. He's going to bomb in. They really need to get onto Demos here. They haven't got any picks with this Uber
What
so
is
far.
Demos doing?
Oh my god, Demos, why are you trying to arrow? He's just fed his life away. But Raymond is in such a bad place right now. There are so many players all around him who do so well to survive here. The soldier's going to get knocked up into the air, and the soldiers are bombing, and Raymond's alone. There's a scout trying to chase him. Marish is on the prowl. He's going to get a nice rocket there, and he's going to go down.
I feel like Demos could have left main, but he decided to stay into Arrow, and that was the beginning of his demise. He got cleaned up after that, but it's just changing so quickly. I feel like Aura was comfortably into that round, like really comfortable, and now this is Se7en, like in the driver's seat, so it's gonna be tough for Aura to. But Starkey, this time the answers come from Marush, gets 2 pick with Nevo, and Marush gets 2 pick, and Marush gets maybe another one. No, that's Nevo, but in the end, that's really good. No matter who gets it, because they have better time. They have a D-sat, so they really need to be careful. They probably need Se7en to force the Uber, maybe even let them get the cap and come back with full force and the Uber of their own.
Yeah, the Uber's going to get forced out here. They just need to keep their medic alive, and Demos is much better positioned now. Eames is going to get chased to main, but he's even going to survive here, and Demos is sitting on 9%. This is definitely Aura Elektro's round to lose, but we do see Starkey going to bomb in. He's going to get completely destroyed there from Pappy, and the Uber's going to come out from Eames. He's going to get a nice pipe onto Domo, and this is really where they need to focus down the players. Domo's going to go down, but here comes the scouts. Here comes the scout for Se7en. They completely clean up. 5k combined from the scouts, and they're going to completely destroy Aura Elektro on that push.
Well, that was it's when Captain Starkey can't do much more, then it's up to Talash and Tiger to some kind of baton pass, and they just carry after the soldiers did the first 2 rounds. So that's 3-0, but I feel like this is maybe when I'm Aura right now, I'm not too disappointed, but even though the first one was kind of one-sided, I feel like the other 2 were really close, and even though Aura lost, I feel like there's really good things for them to take off this game.
Oh my god. How did that turn around? Like, Se7en were so far down. They were 2 minutes down before they got the cap, the first on that last round. And they had full ad, and they just had 10 seconds left. That's all they need. They just basically only needed to focus down the players and then recapture the point, and Se7en, that was their round to lose. And then, boom, Falash getting a 3k, Tiger picking off the other 2, and that's a complete wipe. And it's like we were talking about before the game. With players of the caliber that are on Se7en, you just know that they have any player on that team can just turn around the tide. We saw Starkey and Captain do it time and time again the first couple of rounds, and then we saw in that last round there was a lot more focus on those soldiers. And then we saw Tiger and Falash really turn up on that last round. Tiger picking off the medic in spawn when they were forward holding, and then right at the end there combined 5k, and they're going to be pumped full of confidence going into this second map.
Yeah, and we're going to take a look at logs in a second, but I feel like, so we've mentioned a lot of names for Se7en, but I feel like what's really impressive about them, yes, they have players turning up at some key points, but I think as a team, they give each other so much space to work with, and this is pretty much why it's working for them, because you can tell they're playing for each other, and like if Tiger and Talash have so much space, it's because Captain and Starkey are not afraid to give away their life to give their scouts the space they need. So yeah, we saw crazy play from Starkey or Tiger or Talash, but I feel like as a team, that was really impressive. A really impressive showing of strength, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the logs right now, and first of all, you got to notice the scouts from Se7en. I mean, Tiger and Thalash both doing 400 DPM. Thalash 24-9, Tiger 21-14, and then you got Domo as well doing 370 DPM. I mean, props to Never and Marish. They did like really, really well, seeing that they, the scoreline would suggest that it wasn't that close. They still did very respectable, but you got to say disappointing stats from Azunis and Eames there: 6 for 22, 6 for 14. And then again, we highlighted it during the game. If you look at Starkey's amount of med picks that he got 5 med picks, which is seeing that Demos died 10 times. That half his med picks were half of his deaths were to Starkey. So I mean, as you said, just all around massive performance there from Se7en. Like Domo didn't even get that many frags, but his damage output on the mid fights especially was just incredible. Like it just made it so much easier for Tiger and Thalash just to walk forward and just clean up the damage.
Yeah, you can tell there's a lot of coordination going on. They know how they play as a team, so they pretty much. I'm pretty sure when someone bombs in, he knows where the rest of his teammates are positioned, so it makes things so much easier to play with. And I mean, even though it's a 3-0 and Se7en played amazingly well, again, I feel like Aura wasn't, apart from that first run, Aura still has had some good moments. So if they can replicate these good moments on Gullywash, especially when, for example, Marush and they were able to completely nullify the aggression from Captain Starkey, I'm pretty sure they have a shot this map. They can do something, but it's gonna be tough on them, especially for Se7en. I don't know if Se7en is that much of a hype team. If they play that much on momentum. I think they're so established as a team, as a core, that they don't really need that momentum to do anything. It's not gonna change their gameplay, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see them as a momentum team, whereas Aura can be a bit more. And I think they need to remember what happened in the last 2 rounds if they want to have a chance of doing anything. And I think they know so well the strats of Se7en on this map, especially. I remember Azunis playing for us last season for Ascent, and he knew exactly what to expect from the aggression of Se7en. So maybe Aura is actually a bit more prepared on this map, so I wouldn't write them off right now.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that we can say is that both these teams have they've scrimmed each other quite a lot in the past, and Gullywash is going to be a map where perhaps you can see that structured main calling from Eames that really makes his team successful, have more of an impact where the time isn't so much a factor. Obviously on product you can't really slow down and say, okay, right, this is how we're going to do it, because obviously you've got the time clocking down against your favor if you're trying to think of strats. So I think that this map suits their playstyle a lot more. Whether it's going to have an impact on the result, I don't really know. You mentioned something about hype. I think that obviously has more of an impact on people that are less experienced, just because they want to be feeling like they have a chance more often. Whereas Se7en, even they were down in that 3rd round, they all know that they are good enough to be able to bring it back. And even if it had gone down to the last few seconds, they could have held it for 3 minutes. That they are that confident as a team and in each other as teammates. So I think that again, that's something that might have an effect on this game, especially if Se7en get a couple of rounds early on in the game. I think that could have quite a negative impact on Aura Elektro. I think that it could really, dull their confidence in this game. But who's to know? I think it should be closer. I'm hoping it's closer because I don't want it to be a roll.
It shouldn't. I think again, if we look at the game Se7en had last week against Swift, the Granary game was way more interesting than the product one. Even though Swift was able to get a run on product, I think they had a way better shot on Granary. So I believe this could be the same for Aura on this CP map on Gullywash, especially on the middles. I don't know how established Starkey is when it comes to middle. If they have set plans, I know they used to have with the G-Skin and AMS. I don't know how deep they have delved into strats with this new roster. I don't know how keen they are, but I think I want to see something. I'm pretty sure Aura can do something. And one thing we haven't seen at all actually on product that I just thought about it is we haven't seen Marosh sniping at all. When you think about product, you usually think about off classes, especially sniper, and we know Marosh is pretty good on that sniping rifle. And yeah, he didn't play sniper at all, so maybe on Gullywash he could do it because there's a lot of moments prone to sniping.
Yeah, I think honestly the pace of the game was just too fast for running a sniper, and obviously if at the beginning of the game you see that Starkey and Captain's game plan is just to go behind, then a sniper's really not going to be comfortable. They want to be sitting back knowing that they're not going to get pressured at all. So if a soldier's successfully getting behind all the time, then it's probably why it wasn't brought out. But I think you're absolutely right. I think that's one of the things that could slow the pace of the game down in their favor as well, is just bring out a sniper. Obviously, Se7en are no strangers to running sniper. They have Thalash, they have Tiger, they have Starkey as well. Like, they can all off-class to sniper, so I think that they won't be disheartened if Marish goes sniper, but it will certainly slow the pace down to a point where, as I said before, Eames' main calling can have more of an impact in a positive manner. But let's do a prediction on the score quickly. What do you think it's going to be?
I'm not gonna be. I'll just look at the games they had last week against Swift. It was 4-1 on Granary, so I'll just go the same, and 4-1 for Se7en on this one as well, on Gullywash.
I'm gonna go slightly higher just because I know that Granary isn't Se7en's strongest map, so I'm gonna say 5-2. Yeah, I think they're gonna get considerable amount of rounds, but they might drop a couple quick ones to a dominant mid.
Could be. I think it's gonna be also depending a bit on how our Elektro is feeling right now in the head. I know Eames can get quite emotional, so does Marosh, and from my understanding, when things don't really go their way, they can kind of drift off the game and kind of lose the focus and the mentality you need to keep into a game you're losing. And Se7en is so good at, you mentioned it, take the leads and keeping it, that if that happens to Aura Elektro, they really need to keep their heads in that game. And I'm thinking a lot about Eames and Marosh, especially Eames because he's main calling.
Yeah, I was going to say that exactly. If your main caller goes silent or gets tilted, it's really not going to have a positive impact. And I was also going to wonder, I don't know who's main calling for Se7en, because obviously you have quite a lot of confident callers. All of these players actually like to call. I mean, Captain's maybe a little bit more quiet, but other than that, all of them have called a considerable amount with Cadus in the past, and obviously Domo's main called for his teams in the past, but I don't know if that's something that he would obviously be comfortable doing in such a caliber of team. So I don't know if you have any insight to that.
Well, that's not some proof what I'm gonna say, but from the little amount of streams I've seen from Se7en, it looks like they don't really have a main caller when Cadus isn't playing, but you say that they can all call in their own way. So it's like if someone's gonna make a call, the rest of the team is gonna trust it and gonna do it no matter what. So I feel like whether it's Starkey or Thalash or Raymond, if one of them is making a call, I feel like the whole team is gonna go for it, no matter who says it. And I think this is how they work. There's some chemistry going between the three of them, I think. And Starkey being able to main call from the flank is actually a nice asset that he brings to the table.
Yep, so we are going to go into the second map. This is the week 3 official between Se7en and Aura Elektro. The first map was Koth Product and it was 3-0 to Se7en. So you do go into Gullywash. Both Devilmans are going to be putting a lot of pressure onto Big Door, but we're going to see a very big aggression here from both the soldiers from Aura Elektro, but no damage done as of yet. Pappy's going to be looking to pressure that underneath, and Tiger's getting a lot of damage done, but no one's going down now. Azunis is the first pick to go down, and Pappy is still stuck behind, but it looks like already with that pick, Aura Elektro are going to back all the way off.
Yeah, Zunis and Pappy actually did a good job at drawing the attention of the combo from Aura Elektro, but Im didn't really take the opportunity to walk across the pawn and take the ground that was given to him, so I think this is maybe a lack of...
Starkey!
He got cleaned up. But look at Se7en, they're so good at doing this, just keeping the aggression going and the momentum, and even though they died, that was a really nice attempt here to try to get the medic, but it didn't quite work out, and Se7en is giving up the point. But yeah, I feel like Aura Elektro maybe still a bit hungover from the last map, not quite yet ready to be aggressive as they should be.
Yeah, it looks like the captain wants to take a trade here. He's going to be doing so much damage and choking. He's actually going to pick off Nevo. Soldier's also going to fall down very weak, and that's actually not a bad trade there for Se7en. It's going to give their spawners some time, and actually, with that, Aura Electro are going to back off. They've lost Nevo already, and the spawners came back in time for Se7en. Really smart Uber there, so they didn't lose any ground, but we do see... Is that Azunis hiding? Is he hiding? He is hiding an elbow.
Yeah, and I don't think they know about it, so you can have a play here. But Nevo once more dying on the flank. I think this is the second time in a minute that he kind of feeds, and this isn't really helping the cause of Aura Electro. And now that the scout is dead, look at Se7en already pushing the flank. Yeah, and Azunis really needs to like go now. Is he AFK? Like he's going now, but he's going towards choke, and only Domo's at choke, and he's going to completely deny this. And I don't know, that was a really confusing play there from Azunis. Like, surely his team would have called out that the hills were at Big Door. He should have just gone there straight away. Otherwise, I don't really see what the point of that play was there. Like, he left Neville by himself on Big Door, and so they lost the flank, and that could have turned out really badly there. But luckily, it is just going to stalemate on second, and we do see Tiger behind, actually. And that's now the same is over already. They went for a trade, and in that situation, Se7en, they loved to send someone behind. But Captain, he was read like a book, and he got completely annihilated. But both Nevo and Eames getting a lot of frags, Pappy as well, a lot of damage going, and it looks like Aura Electro was completely ready for that trade. They didn't give any ground to Captain to jump behind, and Eames seeing that he can't do much more than this, gonna try to retreat a bit. He knows Raymond is weak because he piped him, but I don't think he can do much more than that. And now they need to be careful about the spawners, because I think I saw a sniper in the forward spawn. Yeah,
we do see Stocky. He's actually going to jump outside the spawn. It's going to completely destroy Pappy. But at this point, all of his team has gone down. An arrow is going to destroy and knock Starkey off. Raymond's going to go down in the forefront as well to a nice pipe there. Sniper's still in forward spawn. He's going to pick off Marosh.
Got two body shot on Demos. They can't let him do it. Oh my god, that was extremely close from Tiger, and it was a tad more accurate. They would have got 2 frags. That was a bit reminiscent of the 2 kills from Scruff against Swift at I-63. You know, hiding in the forward spawn and getting 2 frags. That was almost a copy and paste situation, but now it's going to be a sizable Uber ad for Aura Electro and Se7en. They need to get ready for their last hold, and they already are with the Pyro and the Sentry Gun trying to guard that shutter door.
Yeah, I've never seen a sentry this far forward, but I think it's just to deny the Uber, which is getting completely denied right now. That is the whole Uber wasted on the shutter door. Massive play there from the Pyro Tiger, and that sentry forward, like, also was just additional knockback there, and Raymond's now going to be sitting with a massive 50% advantage here, and they're going to be taking this up top on Riverside while Domo locks down the shutters.
But when that happens, when the Pyro completely denies the Uber, is it because the Pyro played well, or is it the Ubers that's at fault? It's pretty probably a mix of the two, and now Pappy is going quite deep one rocket into Raymond, can't quite get the force, and yeah, you mentioned that Sentry Gun actually did a lot of work helping Tiger denying the push, and I feel like Aura Electro kind of rushed in, went in that first blind maybe even, and that cost them the run maybe.
Raymond's actually falling very weak here. He's 40 HP, needs to be careful. Oh, and a nice pipe there is going to completely destroy Captain. And actually, Demos has his Uber here as well. The Uber's going to come out really, really early here from Raymond. And they've already lost a player. The counter Uber's going to come out here. And we do see players dropping down onto the floor. Thalash is stuck behind. And they do know about this. Is he going to be able to escape? Wow, he escaped. But while this is going on, Pappy's going to try and push a choke here. Looks like they want to try and bust this. But the spawn has come up for Se7en. And still 0-0 with 5 minutes played. Yeah,
looks like alright, they find a way to slow things down, and they're more at their hands right now. What we can see from Pappy maybe in the coming minutes will be a sack from him, and then him spawning with a banner. Maybe the Battleon's backup, I know he does that sometime, so we'll keep an eye on that. Domo is holding on the big door with stickies above the door, so he's not holding choke. But Thalash and Tiger are here ready to deny any aggression from Pappy of Zuni, so maybe now Aura Electro will want to bust that big door with the help of their heals. We'll see how they decide to break that hole, because they still have a lot of time, so they don't have anything to rush right now. They just can try things and see what works best for them.
Yeah, it's very interesting, like, the old iteration of Se7en would immediately have got this stalemate and thought, okay, let's bring out the sniper. But it's almost like they only bring it out when they have to now. Like, you've seen teams like Feint that will almost, if they're in this position, Kunia will go sniper. And I would have thought that Aura Electro would want to switch their scout onto sniper as well, but doesn't look like they want to. They want to stick on the cookie cutter, and Domo's going to be putting so much damage out onto Big Door. He's going to push them all the way back. Pappy falling down very low. He's going to get buffed up now from his medic, and it's just going to reset. But yeah, no sniper yet.
like one soldier going drop, not completely draw the attention from Aura back, and now Raymond as well is taking the heals to that big door area, so we could see a trade here if any of the teams decides to do so, but it doesn't look like it. Neither of the team have to do anything irrational, I want to say. They kind of both can sit back and see what the other team will bring to the fight. But I suspect Aura Elektro will want to do something. The bomb is coming from Azunis with a nice pogo through big door. He can't get quad to Raymond and decides to fall back instead of dying, which is quite smart. And they want to reset, but they kind of shown their card. And Tiger dives to a lucky pipe maybe from Eames, and it could open things up for Azunis and Pappy now.
Yeah, they're going to try and pressure this low, but Starkey's playing this so well. This is what Drac basically made this hold famous for. But Starkey's actually going to get cleaned up. He's going to get rushed by Marosh there. And they've now lost 2 players here, and they're in a really poor position, holding on top of the point. They're just hoping that they can get someone up top behind, but Nevo has caught onto it. He's going to get up top, and they're going to have to back off to choke until their spawners arrive. This is really smart played here from Se7en. They haven't taken a trade yet, and although Nevo's gone behind, we're going to see a massive bomb there from Pappy. He's also up top now, but the spawners are up now. Starkey's up. And Pappy goes through for the bomb, not going to hit the rocket onto Raymond. He's going to survive with 70 HP. And whilst that goes on, the player gets picked off up top. That was Nevo going down. And now we see 2-player pick advantage for Se7en. Let's see what they try and do with it.
Oh, Azunis had the nice read onto Tiger and gets cleaned up. And now the Ubers are traded. And it should be okay for Aura Elektro, even though that's smart here. Even though they didn't have quite the players, they just decided to hold close and not to give any ground. And not to respect Se7en pretty much, and it worked out quite well for them. Domo still taking the big door, and I like how Aura Elektro are approaching this. They are giving a lot less respect to Se7en than what they did on the previous map, and they are way more proactive.
Oh, Azunis got destroyed there, completely denied there from Starkey and Tiger, and Pappy also taking so many rockets from Captain, denying him on that choke. And this is a new Se7en. They're going to pressure. They're going to bust straight through choke here. Tiger's going to get picked off here, but they've got so much damage onto the opposition team. Nevo's going to get completely denied, and Eames is on this floor position at the moment. He's completely in a poor position. He hasn't linked up with his heals, and he's just going to be walking up elbow now. But while this is going on, Domo's going to walk up top, and he's going to get so much damage. Domo's going to go down, but Starkey gets off with some...
Oh, he tried to go for Raymond, but I feel like him and Pappy miscommunicated, because as soon as Pappy walked forward, Raymond backed off, and then Nevo was out of reach. That was... I haven't sure how Aura Elektro was.
Raymond is so weak!
Raymond!
Oh my god!
I feel like this is where they give a bit too much respect.
Eventually, he's just taking so much damage. Eames has got his number, and Thalash goes down as well. This is a terrible Uber here from Se7en. I don't know what that recommit was, but they're going to get collapsed on. Raymond's going to go down. Captain's going to go down. Tiger's going to go down. And this is terrible. Starkey's down to 25 HP, and they both need to really survive and get some sort of hold onto this last. But I don't think Aura Elektro are going to wait. They should be getting in straight away now. Why are they waiting?
They are going. They're waiting for Eames, who's a bit slower than his teammates, and that bomb from Starkey completely denied that push from Eames.
Pappy's behind. He's going to destroy Thalash under.
Probably a reset, but both players are under. Both Azunis and Pappy are under. Starkey is trying to come meet them, and Tiger as well, so it should be dead for them. Starkey dies, but I mean, this is looking a bit bad for Aura Elektro, and it's 3v4, so maybe there's even room for Se7en to push back. Look at Aura Elektro, they're just completely giving up second point.
Yeah, but I don't think that's something Se7en will know. Maybe Captain will have some eyes on it now, and definitely Domo will now, because he's going to get completely denied from holding that shutter. Nevo's going to be trying to peek low at the moment, but Se7en have caught onto this. They're going to back off. Oh my god, Captain got onto Pappy there, and he's going to pick him off, but the Uber advantage, is it going to be enough? Eames gets completely denied by the Pyrons. Starkey is holding off the Roma, but there's so many sticks on the point now. Eames is going to lock off that left-hand side, and it's just Domo on the point. They're managing to stack on the point, but they're eventually going to get it down. Se7en couldn't do enough to stop that, and that's one round, first round, sorry, going the way of Aura Elektro.
Yeah, and they kind of baited Se7en, like throughout the last 3 minutes. I feel like they baited Se7en really well, letting them think they had a lot of health advantage, I think, and it wasn't really quite the case. And I think Se7en got a bit over aggressive here and got completely punished, so that's really well played from Aura Elektro, and taking the lead quite unexpectedly.
Captain doing a massive aggressive bomb, and that's going to be followed up by Azunis, trying to just take that distraction play there. He's going to be walking up elbow. He's been spotted here by the scouts, and he's going to do well to be able to do anything there. Tiger's got his number. While this is going on, Tiger's going to get picked off by Sticky, and Marosh is going to completely deny Starkey. And this middle is going right in the way of Aura Elektro. The soldiers are buffing up. Thalash is going to take a nice direct there as well. He's going to drop down weak, and I don't know if he's going to be able to survive. He gets an arrow from Raymond. He's going to be able to get up that drop down. But are they going to be able to run out in time? I think they're just going to be able to squeeze out. Domo's going to give up his life, but Raymond does survive, and he's going to have Uber for last.
And alright, Elektro, they have no time to waste. They're already trying to go towards the lives, trying to get the force onto Raymond. The spam from Shredder is coming. Actually, Azunis doesn't really care about spam. He just try to go. He can't quite make it, but I think like alright, Elektro is extremely good right now, playing that kind of a waiting game when they just wait for Se7en to bring the aggressions to them, and then they completely punish them with a nice coordinated play from both Nevo and Marosh. So maybe they actually learned from their mistake on Product, and I feel like they're replicating what worked on Product really well on that map, and it's really working quite well for them. And now it's going to be a last hold, and I see both Pappy and Mizunis on Spy, and I love this play.
Yeah, this is really smart. I mean, if you think you got one Spy, you're not really going to expect the second one. And obviously we've got the off classes of the Pyro and the NG, so no one's really going to be checking for those spy classes.
They know somehow. That's like all the players spy check at the same time, but they may not know about the second spy, because now you mentioned that you don't really expect the second spy. Papi died, but they maybe don't know about the Zunis.
Yeah, but Raymond is in such a covered position right now. He's actually going to jump off and go towards River, and he's actually by himself. Zunis is going to go behind him. Is he going to decloak? He's going to decloak now. Thalash is in front of him, and he's in a position where he's going to be covering it. And he spots him, and he's going to go down. Wow, massive play there. And while that goes on, massive rocket there onto Demos, but he is going to be able to serve and dodge that second rocket. He's not going to get pressured, and the Ubers are both being held by a medic. Both are medics, sorry. And it's going to be a reset, back on last again.
And Elektro is really good right now at doing one after the other a really defensive play where they wait for Se7en, and then a really proactive one. So it's going to be hard for Se7en to know what to expect next. And I think this is well played, because they don't really let Se7en get a hold on the pace of the game. And right now it's Aura that's in charge of what's happening. So it's probably not what Se7en is used to. They usually are the one dictating what's happening on the server. But right now, Aura Elektro is kind of outplaying them at their own little game. But breaking that hold though is going to be extremely hard, with the Pyro protecting the sentry gun and the NG repairing it at the same time. And considering what Aura has been doing so far, I'm really interested to see what they have in mind to break the cell main.
Yeah, we don't see any off classes from Aura Elektro right now, and obviously that sentry position is obviously going to completely deny any sack from Riverside. So be interesting to see what Aura Elektro's plan is. But of course they have the right. They're 1 round up. They could just run the clock down here, but they're only 1 round up. I see some stickies being chucked into the stairs, and Captain's actually going to get picked up by Pappy there. And the sentry's going to try and get spammed down.
That sentry is really well placed, because Aura Elektro was trying to abuse the Riverside, and the sentry can completely deny that.
Oh my god, Thalash!
And Pyro and Thalash and Pyro completely
He's going to force the Uber!
No, he can't. No, he can't get the force. Can't.
Demos is down to 20 HP. He doesn't pop.
He's fine, Samski.
Oh.
You're getting your hype, your hopes too high up. And I'm talking about high up. Look at Starkey trying to double bong onto Demos, but once more Demos is getting himself out of range. So really well played once more. And now that 2 people are dead, no Pyro yet. I mean, Thalash is going to pull him right now, so I doubt Aura Elektro can do anything. But with Starkey dead, maybe this is time to sack, even though they're going to Pyro in.
Zunis is bombing him while the sentry's building. He's going to get completely denied by the Uber. But while that Pappy's on the backhand, he's got the brain chain. He's going to cap it out.
That's so well played. But all this section was, again, Aura Elektro. They're playing off each other extremely well. Pretty much how Se7en plays. I think they're just playing off their soldiers really well, and that's 2-0, and I'm pretty sure nobody expected that. And Aura Elektro is actually playing really, really well right now.
Well, I mean, I predicted 5-2, so my scoreline could technically still get there, but it would have to be a roll now from Se7en. We're going to see a much more aggressive mid here, but Stark is going to go down straight away. Captain's falling down so weak, he's going to wait for a bow here. Azunis is going to try and come up, but Nevo's going to pick off Captain while waiting for the arrow, and this is going from bad to worse right now. So much aggression from Aura Elektro. Domo is going to get a nice pipe there onto Azunis, but it's not going to save the mid, and they're already backing off to second.
And again, Aura Elektro, they're adapting so well to the aggression of Starkey and Captain, and what Starkey did extremely well on the first map, he can't replicate at all on this one, because Nevo and Marosh, They are after him. They're on the prowl. They see Starkey jump. They just focus their aim on him, and he gets down so quickly. And Nebo now is on sniper. So once more, Nebo sniper. This is something we haven't seen so far. So Se7en, they can't expect it yet, and there's gonna be 1 minute for Aura to surprise Se7en with something they haven't tried yet. And I think this is pretty much the story of this map so far. Aura Elektro is trying new things all the time, so they can't really let Se7en comfortable, even with Se7en losing. This is going to be really tough for them now.
Starkey goes down. Thalash manages to squeeze past Nevo just before he got down that, so we do see Thalash on the spy class, and Raymond's holding in a bit of a strange position. They know they've got a sniper, so Domo's having to be aggressive by Big Door, but they cannot really peek this for much longer.
Thalash is... Oh, they almost turn around completely randomly. I'm pretty sure nobody called Thalash, and just Domo with just one movement of the mouse just completely denied that play from Thalash. That was quite unfortunate here for the Dane, and with the sniper and one down, maybe it's time now for Aura to apply some pressure on the flank with some tank coming onto Papi maybe, or Imps. But it looks like they want to take it carefully, a bit like the old days of Se7en, where they have the lead, they know that they're not really worried right now, and they know they can take things extremely slow, and this is why they have a sniper to pretty much make Se7en be the one to try something really risky.
Yeah, and you know, Se7en are not used to this being in this position. They're 2 rounds down with 12 minutes left, and you know, they want to be comfortable. They don't want to be in the position where they're having to make rash decisions. They are going to run Thalash sniper, and I don't think they're going to be pressured that much for time until it gets like to the 5-minute mark. I think they're just going to work their game, as we do see Thalash trying to get forward. He's going to get a headshot onto Azunis. He's going to drop down to 50 HP, but we do see a sticky trap above the door. So if Thalash tries to go for that hero play, he's going to get dead on straight away. And Papi's taken Azunis' position. He's going to get some rocket spam onto Thalash. Thalash is going to be peeking through. See if he gets any pick. He's going to get completely destroyed there. Pipe from Eames, and Azunis follows up with the rocket. And I don't know what they're planning on doing here, but Nevo's peeking choke just going to miss on the shot onto Captain. And Papi looks like he wants to take a trade here.
Well, I doubt this is the play, because right now what Aura Elektro is doing is they're pretty much tilting Se7en, I think, because you mentioned how Se7en isn't really used to that, so I'm not gonna say Se7en is being pissed right now, but they clearly uncomfortable with what's happening. Thalash realizes the sniper isn't working quite well, and this maybe means a more aggressive play for Se7en.
Oh, what is this? This quick Uber Force. I mean, it's lucky that Demos was holding close there, but the rest of his team was holding so far back. We're gonna see Papi getting... Oh my god! What happened there? Raymond got stuck on the rock, and that was so lucky. He almost went down there. Luckily, he does survive. Eames is going to be trying to hold this choke down. He's going to pick off Tiger. He falls down so weak, and he should get cleaned up here. He is going to get down. And now we see that Nevo sniper isn't really going to be harming the chances here, and they might have to give up second here as well.
And what made the difference here is that Captain once more went with the last bit of the Uber. He just went in the back lines and drew so much attention that Aura Elektro was stuck between a rock and a hard place. And now Se7en, they're so aggressive. They're trying to drive push onto the middle point, onto the second point, I mean, and Papi gets cleaned up by Thalash and Captain. So really well played. Nice read on the situation here for Se7en. They realized that waiting wasn't really helping them, so they completely shifted to a really aggressive playstyle, and it's working really well for them. But here I don't know if they are aware of their 20% Uber ad. I don't think they were, because they didn't push. And with a heavy and a pyro for Aura Elektro, this is gonna be their turn to play a bit turtle like.
Yeah, I mean, at least Se7en will be more comfortable with 10 minutes left. The fact that they're on their last. We're going to see Tiger getting some cap time there, but he's going to picked off there from Papi. And this is a typical Se7en play. They're going to back off hell away and see if they can bait Aura Elektro into some form of push. But I think they're smart enough not to fall for that trap. They played the same things. Snipe. And we do see the sentry now being built up by Marosh.
And Tiger, I thought that was a sack play. But no, Tiger just went back as scout, so I'm pretty sure Aura is expecting an off class. I can see, yeah, I think there was a Zunis on Spy checking for off classes, but you didn't see anything like it. And with a cookie cutter lineup, it's going to be a bit hard for Se7en to break these holds. I don't really know what they want to do. I know they like to play on the river side, like to bait players and try to get a sack going from balcony or river. So I think this is what is going to happen, but who knows, maybe they have something different up their sleeve, some trump card that they are about to reveal, and I'm being notified that there's a banner in play. I think this is
Pappy. Pappy's got
yeah.
the banner. This is a really standard play there from Pappy. But it means that if he builds that up before the Uber comes up, they're going to technically have like a, you know, another Uber, or even something that can help pressure off an Uber without having to use their own. We are going to see Tiger and Samski both playing behind the point, but Pappy's in such a good position here to deny, and there are sticks on the point as well. I'd be very impressed if they manage to get the time. Tiger's going to sack there straight for the point, and he's going to die, and Samski's going to try and jump away, never putting so much damage down with that detonator, and Se7en once again are going to back off. They're going to hold lobby this time, not going to get all the way back to second, but, you know, 2 minutes down already on this hold, and this is becoming stronger and stronger for Elektro.
So let's notify that Pappy is running the patterns backup, so that's the banner that gives more resistance to damage when used. And I think this is where the knowledge, the Se7en's knowledge, the Aura Elektro's knowledge of Se7en playstyle is coming into play, because they knew exactly how to answer that play onto under from Tiger. You could see everybody from Aura knowing exactly where to stand to deny this.
Tiger's on Pyro. Tiger's on Pyro and he's gone underneath. There are now 6 on point and Pappy's on the balcony.
And
never goes down. Tiger's above. He's going to reflect 1 rocket, 2 rocket, 3 rocket. He's going to get so much cap time there. And the suspension sentry gun go down. Now is a great time for Se7en to be able to push. Tiger is still alive behind the point as well. He's going to be a complete nuisance. He's going to get 1. He's just going to keep reflecting. He's going to go down. And the heavy's going to come up. Soldier's going to come in. Samski and Azunis does get picked off, but during that time, that was the only pick they got, and I don't think, surely Elektro don't push this.
I think they have to. The banner is being used by Pappy, so I think this is an aggressive play that's gonna happen. Dreamin's actually kind of alone, only with Talash went back, but I feel like there's a lot of room here to
Pappy! So much damage.
Oh, he got
there.
a shot as well on the way back. That was a nice rocket here, but I feel like they could have forced Dreamin here, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, Tiger got Ames in the background as well, and they're going to pressure into last here. They're dropping players so many. The scouts weak over. Thalash is going to clean them up as well, and the Uber's going to go onto the point. The Uber's going to be used here, but there's only 2 players here, and they just need to juggle. Pappy has spawned. He could save this. Can he save this? This is the question. He's going to get the last of the Uber flash, but Stark is sitting on the point, and Thalash is also. It's just. Oh my god! It was just never to block the point, and that's going to be the Uber. That was just too many players dropped there before the Uber came out.
Okay, I think what happened here is some people from Aura said don't push out, and some players said push out. So I'm pretty sure there was some miscommunication here, because I think they could have pushed out of their left. I mean, there were only 3 players from Se7en alive, and that mistake just cost them the round. So they really need to stay focused right now, because this is the kind of mistakes that could cost them the game if it keeps on happening.
Oh my god, massive sticky there onto Demos at the beginning of the mid. He hasn't even come out yet. He was down to 20 HP and he's going to get that little pack, but the whole mid fight they've had no heals, and yet somehow Se7en are losing this. How is this possible? Demos is going to go down to Samski, but Se7en are so passive here. Eames has done so much work to completely deny them. Azunis is going to get destroyed in the air though, but Demos is going to go down by Eames, and Se7en are going to heal up here. Are they going to progress this? Are they going to push into?
They are. Everybody's weak onto Aura Elektro, so this should be a free fight. But Pappy completely annihilates Tiger, and they're all weak.
Marish is coming behind. He's on to Raymond.
He's
shooting him. He's joking. He choked. Raymond was standing still.
Oh no. What? How did? Well, I get the weaved shot, but that could have been a complete salvage here from Marosh, but it didn't quite work out. I don't really know what happened there. I feel like Eames did so much damage that even though Demos was out of position, this is why Se7en didn't win the mid straight away, but when you have no heals, it's just about getting peppered down and eventually losing the fight. And now this is gonna be, the tables are turning in favor of Se7en, and they have a full Uber app, like 20% Uber app going into that last push.
Yeah, and Marish is on the pyro. He's going to deny most of that Uber there. He's going to fall down weak, and the cap time for second has only just gone down, so maybe a bit of miscommunication there. Samski went down, and the Uber is out for Demos right now, so kind of a Uber wasted there, but they might be able to bait Aura Elektro into a push here. They have got full advantage. We see Demos is going to be taking that up top now.
And so basically Se7en will leave that last push exactly the way Aura did 20 minutes ago. So it's nice to see the teams are doing the same kind of mistakes. Uber is finally used by Demos onto a shot, but nobody quite happened here. Just Se7en knew exactly what was happening. Only Tiger died, and that was after the Uber. And it could be a cap point here for Aura Elektro, but they probably need to fall back as soon as they have captive, because now look at the Ubers. Raymond is having 80%, while Demos only has 20 of his own. So it's probably going to be a second hold, but a really passive one for Aura Elektro. 3 minutes 45 seconds. Se7en can still do it, and they have the cost in their hands to make it happen.
We do see both the soldiers from Aura Elektro trying to do those high bombs, but that was predicted really well there from Se7en, and they still have an advantage. The soldiers might get picked off here. Pappy's might go down, but he's going to get a nice rocket onto Domo, and that's the Demo down before the Uber advantage here. So Demos as well, building that up. He's up to 90% as well, so this is going to be equal, and Se7en surely can't push this right now.
This was well played from Aura. At this point, all they have to do is slow down Se7en as much as they can and waste the time as much as they can. So they don't really, because they had a really sizable Uber this time, but it even, like, I mean, they got it back in time. The Uber is being used by Se7en. Inside, getting dropped by Demos. This could be really, really bad. Uber is being used on an 90. What is this from Aura Elektro? What are they doing? He gets Tiger eventually, but looks really good for Se7en. I see one player, Talash, is going under. He's going to play the cap point, and Pappy is aware of that. And there's a
soldiers bombing onto the point. Captain doing so much damage onto Starkey. Also now on the point, he's going to get a massive block onto Melody. Is that?
Marouche got 3. Marouche got 3 frag with the heavy, and it was. I thought Se7en capped it, but no, Marouche didn't quite agree with that situation. But now look, so much cap time. Maybe Tiger should go for a back cap play, but Aura, they are well aware of that, and they're all standing on last. I think they have agreed right now. We don't push out, guys. We stay here. We take this win, and we try to not beef, basically. And they're gonna have a really big Uber ad, but I'm pretty certain they're not gonna try to use it. Just gonna try and wait for Se7en to just crush on them.
Falash is on the pyro. This is their last chance. They're gonna get Uber one last time here. And their whole team is going to go under. Surely this can't work. Surely they're going to get so much damage onto Pappy, but Thalash is going to go down. One nice rocket, he's going to get the force. No. That's really massive play there. Can they get Raymond out? The soldiers trying to bomb into River. He's going to be able to get out. Are they be out? I think that's it.
Position from Demos was dreadful. He dropped on the point for no reason. He had 2 players of his team inside on the point, so he had no reason to jump in, and just Captain saw the opportunity. He went for the bomb onto Demos, get the force, and now this is a full Uber ad for Se7en, for Raymond, and they beefed previously, so this is not over yet, but this is going to be hard for Se7en, for Aura Elektro, and they really will need to do as much as they can, a perfect defense play if they want to hold this.
Oh my god, as the Uber does come out, Nevo is not going to be able to deny this Uber one bit. The sentry gun's going to go down. Pappy's falling down very weak onto, and he's going to get picked up by Starkey. And whilst this is going on, Azunis is getting pressure from underneath. Eames is very weak on the point. It's just the heavy. This is a much better push, and that is going to be the choke. No, I'm not going to call it a choke. That was just a really good push there from Se7en. A bit poor positioning there from Demos on that second to last push. Maybe that's kind of what, you know, gave them the entrance to be able to push that, but that was a great comeback there from Se7en, and this is going to be a golden cap.
Yeah, let's highlight the good play rather than the bad one, and I think that Se7en, they managed to stay in that game, even though they were losing 2-0 and they really had no time to come back, but they just made it, and now it's probably going to be a golden cap, so what a game so far. Really impressed by Aura Elektro. They've been showing a lot of good things, but in the end Se7en remains Se7en, and it's really hard to take a point out of a map out of them. I mean, Aura is already going to get at least a point, maybe even 2, so props to them, but I think both teams had basically half a map. It's like the 15 first minutes were for Aura, the 15 last were to Se7en, and they look so close to each other, even though on paper you want to give this to Se7en when you look at the players, but Aura Elektro, I felt like they played on their strengths so well, and but when you think about it for 1 second, if Marouche didn't have that 3k on heavy on one of the last push from Se7en would have enough time to even win this game, so that's how close it is.
I mean, I'm gonna look at the logs right now, and you can just see that, like, the difference already, just stat-wise compared to the last game. You just saw how much of an impact Eames was having, and Marouche as well. Both of them just having such little deaths. I mean, Raymond died 3 times, but everyone else on his team, Domo was the next death, the next closest death with 10 deaths. And then, you know, Thalash and Tiger just dying so many times, and obviously Starkey and Captain, we saw them constantly getting denied. Whereas you see on the other team, Eames 14-6, Marosh 18-5, and Nevo 17-10. So all of these players, I mean, I know that they were holding their last for a while, so obviously they're not going to be dying as much as Se7en, who are sacking in for trying to get onto last. But at the same time, it just looked like Elektro always had Se7en's number. And then they've just made a couple of misplays, and it's cost them, you know, what could be considered 3 points in the map.
Pretty much, and they don't. I feel like Se7en, they know they have the momentum going for them, so they don't want to waste that much time. Even though Aura was the first team to ready up, and I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen, because really right now, it could go either way, and I'm not saying that to for the sake of interest. This could go either way.
Yep, as I want to see a bigger mid out from Domo. He's going to get a nice damage onto the Marosh. He's going to fall down very weak, but Eames is doing a lot of damage into Choke. The Soldier's going to get completely denied. Captain going up so high, and he's going to get picked up by Pappy straight away. This is more of the same thing. Starkey's going to go down, and Se7en need to back off really quickly here, because Pappy is in big door. He could get an arrow and completely cut them off here.
When Pappy is on the flank, he actually can maybe go in the backlines. I don't think they know is there, so Pappy is already on last because I'm waiting for the medic. But as I said, that Eames is already trying to go. Oh, that was a bit presumptuous. And Marosh got Raymond, so in the end, even though Eames kind of fed, this is actually looking good for Elektro. And I want to highlight how Starkey and Captain, they can't find the answer of that hold of Marosh and Nevo. They don't know what to do to not be denied, and this is like the change of playstyle from Captain and Starkey between the two maps is really weird. Not weird, but it's impressive how you can be so efficient on one map and then be kind of not a liability to your team, but like not doing anything happening in favor of your team.
Surely Elektro cannot mess this up. They have full Uber advantage. They just need to heal up their players and focus the picks. The Pyro is going to completely deny this Uber. It's going to get a lot of flashes out as well, but that is the only pick. Azunis is going to go down in the lobby as well, and Starkey picking off Marosh as well. He's going to get a rocket onto Pappy as well, and this Uber is collapsing. Starkey doing so much work, and he's still alive. How is he alive? He's going to survive that, and Tiger was the only loss of that Uber. Eames is going to get picked up as well, and it's just Demos and Nevo surviving.
I feel like Aura just rushed things. They saw the victory at the end of the tunnel, so I think they just tunnel vision this push, and this is why it didn't quite work out. They had no focus targets. The bomb is coming from Zunis. He almost gets Raymond, but Raymond hold this. I mean, doesn't have everybody, but he surfs away really well, and the Pappy gets nullified by Domo, and that actually buys enough time for Elektro to probably get the Uber in time for their second point if they waste a lot of time on the Thalash! No, that's Tiger. It gets nice play from them when Marosh. Tiger could have been in, but in the end, that's a lot of time wasted for Elektro. They can get the Uber in time, and this is pretty much the best they could have wished for in that situation.
I mean, yeah, so we are going to see... Actually, is Se7en going to take this in straight away? I mean, they don't have Uber advantage, but it looked like they wanted to get aggressive here, and we are going to see some aggression here. Captain just pressuring them so far back here. And while this is going on, Tiger has gone sniper.
Yeah, it looks like Se7en want to slow things down a bit because they can sense how the pace of the game is suiting Aura a bit better. So I'm assuming they want to take things a bit slowly with Tiger on sniper. I don't know how proficient he is on sniper. I wouldn't have been the one to put on sniper in. But I say that he proved me wrong with the bullet in the head.
Tiger can go off on sniper sometimes, and I just have this feeling right now that he is going to go off. He's peeking now. Starkey's gone behind as well. Is Eames going to get picked off? The sniper is just so dominant here. Look how passive they're holding. And Starkey is behind. He's going to pick off Eames as well. Surely not. Nothing else. Oh my god, he picks up Demos as well.
How can this be? How do they give so much space to a sniper, and Flagger maybe single-handedly is gonna give the map to Se7en if they don't beat that push, and they surely can't beat that.
I mean, that was essentially a wipe. It's just Eames and Demos left. The Uber's still on it. Oh my god, Eames is going to get destroyed by Captain, and oh my god, Tiger went sniper, completely turned that round around, and that's going to be the golden cap to Se7en. And you've got, if you were Aura Elektro, you've got to think that that's points lost there. I mean, one, they were in such a confident position for the main game of that map. and then 2, they rolled Se7en on the mid of the golden cap. They had full Uber advantage. They beefed completely the last push, and then Tiger completely punishes them. Drops Eames, drops Azunis, and then drops Demos, and the rest is history.
Well, I mean, you called it. Tiger sometimes can turn up and just shoot everyone, and this is pretty much what it did. But yeah, it's gonna be hard for Aura not to be disappointed after this game tonight. Like pretty much everybody expected them to lose 6-0, so overall 5-1 is still decent, better than expected. But seeing how the map went, how Gullywash went, this is, you mentioned it, they have to be disappointed. This is probably 3-point loss, maybe 2, but what a game and what a play from Tiger. And this is why Se7en is so good. Like when that as a team they don't really find the answer, they have the skill as like player by player to completely break the enemy team, and this is what Tiger did, and this is why Se7en is Se7en.
Yeah, I'm just. So we're gonna take a look at the main logs just as now. We did briefly mention them before the go live for the Golden Cap, but once again we're just reiterating it was such a dominant performance by the team of Elektro. I mean, if you compare the team stats, you got 76 kills to 57. The damage is basically the same, but you have 2 more charges from Demos, and obviously just, you know, it felt like Elektro were just always in control, and yet somehow, some way, Se7en managed to come back and get that draw in the last minute. And then the Golden Cap, once again, same went. You know, you saw both the soldiers there from Starkey and Captain get completely denied on mid. A nice flank there from Pappy, and Marosh picks off Raylan. You're thinking, this is game over. They got full advantage. And the only pick they got was the Pyro. And then the focus fire was just terrible. And then, you know, they just got rolled back onto mid, and then Tiger sniping, and just, I mean, what can you say about that game? It just had everything.
I feel like the more we're gonna talk about this game, the more Aura is gonna be sad about this, about the outcome, because the more you think about it, the more uncanny this is that Aura didn't got more out of this. But yeah, that was crazy, and I don't know if this is a question we can ask the people when they come in, but is it Aura got, the more the time was going, they were winning, so maybe they got a bit too cocky. I don't know. You know, sometimes when you're winning a game, you shouldn't be winning. You get a bit carried away, and you lose track of what's happening, and you lose the grasp you have on that game. So maybe this is what happened when you look at the Aura side. And Se7en was so good at staying in that game. I don't think there's many teams out there that could have been able to being down 2-0 for such a long time and still be able to turn things around and eventually win the map. And that was. When you look, like, it was so evenly. When you look at logs, it's actually almost one-sided to Elektro, and somehow, somewhere, Tiger.
Yeah, I mean, and also I thought every mid was like lost. I thought Elektro dominated every single mid, but even in the main logs, you saw that both teams won 2 mids. So I don't know how that happened, but like it felt like the scouts from Elektro were just completely denying the bombs from Starkey and Captain, and Domo just didn't seem to have as much impact as he did on Product. But somehow they managed to win 2 mids, and the mids that they did win were the rounds that they won. So I mean, obviously, you know, contributed to that. So yeah, hopefully we got some people to interview, because that was an insane game.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some people, but they probably, as we do, need some time to, you know, take a breather and realize what just happened, because that was probably maybe one of the craziest maps we've seen so far. I wanna mention the granary between Ascent and Feint. I think Ascent and Swift, that was actually really close as well, but this probably is one step further into the craziness of what TF2 can be. So yeah, that was a really impressive map, impressive game even. And we are joined right now by one player from each team, Eames from Elektro, and Tiger, and I'll let Samski handle the most of it.
Okay, so Eames, my question goes to you. Commiserations first, especially on that second map. That was a really impressive display. We kind of talked about it before the game, that we thought that Product was not going to be as close, and Gullywash may be more of a close affair. Was that something that you were kind of expecting, or were you disappointed how the first couple of rounds went? Because the third round was really close, but the first 2 rounds seemed to get away from you.
I think you probably saw by the cap timer, so the first round we got completely rolled, then we faked mumble problems and had a pause to discuss it, and we were basically slowly getting back into it, because I think their main strat was just sending soldiers behind, and we were slowly dealing with that better. So, we were getting back into the game, and obviously we went 2 minutes up in the third round, and then we just kind of threw it by they're very good at coming back into games, as we've seen. So, I felt we thought we had a bit of a... We thought 3-0 wasn't maybe as representative as it might have been on product, but I didn't really know. We weren't really sure which map would have been closer to begin with. We just wanted to go for it.
Okay, interesting. And Tiger, I guess a similar sort of question. I mean, looking into this official, were you scrimmed this team quite a lot, from what I gather, or you specifically have in the past. So were you confident knowing what they would be doing on both maps, or were there some uncertainties?
We haven't scrimmed Gullywash at all. We had one game before this against the mix, but so we were a bit rusty on it, I guess. But Viaduct is Viaduct. Whoever turns up wins, basically. There's no fucking clear favourite for Viaduct a lot of the time. But yeah, Gully we need work on, definitely.
Samski, I think there's a question everybody's asking right now with Thaga, what do you eat for breakfast?
Okay.
Okay, you heard it first. I mean, not first. I think Credu already spread the word before, but that's the man's secret.
What do you snort for breakfast?
Cocoa Pop.
Okay.
I was asking, yeah.
Ombrack, you ask a question.
So let's brush off a product, because in the end that's pretty much not what we want to talk about. What happened on Gully? Just go round by round. Tiger, you were 2-0 down. Did you, at some point, did you even expect to be behind in the scorelines, or was it what just happened before you just came back?
We were just playing lackadaisical. We've not scrimmed it at all, so we were a bit our pushes weren't what they normally are, especially because we've got the new players in the team again. They play a little bit differently, and the mids weren't the same. But I think towards the end, it felt like the sync was getting there a bit. Well, the synchronization was getting a bit better. But I don't know. We just sort of knew that once we went down 2 rounds, they were going to play really slow and trying just to hold and slow everything down a bit. So we knew we could take a little bit more of a risk, or we had to take a risk, or do random stuff to try and throw them off. And eventually we broke through. And
what about you, Ims? What I really liked about how you play is that you tried so many different things when it was 0-0 or 1-0. And was it something you wanted to do? Was it how you always play, or was it you wanted to try different things? So Se7en was never ready to expect what you wanted to do.
Are you referring to the spy play?
Well, you did so many things, like the banner, the double spy, the newborn sniper. You actually, for the first 15 minutes, you never approached a situation the same way.
No, it wasn't planned out particularly. It's just, I guess that's the way we play. We have a lot of players that have a lot of ideas, I suppose. So we're always it's not like, oh, let's just wait. Someone has an idea. It's more like there's too many ideas. Okay. So we just end up doing stuff.
And do you regret being a bit maybe too conservative on the second half of the map?
No, on the contrary, really. Well, I mean, the thing that really messed it up was, we made a push out last, which, I mean, admittedly, it should have been a really good push out. I was I didn't really want to, because I thought we were holding fine. There was about 7 minutes left, but we did have a pretty easy push out. But I mean, so theoretically it would have been fine, but we weren't fully. You always have the idea in the back of your head, we probably shouldn't be pushing because you don't fully commit to it in the way you would normally because the stakes are higher. And I think probably that in itself just made us lose the push, like a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, we actually thought at this moment that maybe some miscommunication going with that. Some people wanted to push out and some people wanted to stay in. So this is basically what happened. And so then Tiger, you make it 2-2 in the last 45 seconds, I think it was. And then that golden cap happened. You somehow once more lose the middle, and Aura is going to push you with a full Uber ad. at this point, what is going through the mumble?
We know because Gully is such a hard map to push last, even with a full Ubrad, as we like shown during the game as well. Like if you get a good setup, it's quite hard to push anyway. But them coming through river, like sort of was a bit unorthodox, I guess. They usually go top left. But we still managed to sort of deny the Uber enough to get us, comfortable holding the point. And we managed to get a pick off on the flank, I think. And then it just sort of snowballed from there. We had really good focus fire. It's a good thing we've got on this particular roster is once someone's like called a focus, everyone's on them. Like as soon as we see someone available to kill, that's it. They're all on them. So it was just a really well held last, I guess.
And then the magic happens. I wonder, like for Se7en, this is kind of rare to see you struggle this hard. Is it something you kind of dislike like you used to being better than everyone? So do you appreciate that like you have some competition, or what's the next step, trying to crush this even more?
Like I said, it's a mixture between us being like out of practice on the particular map as well as Aura playing really well. But I think obviously we're going to have to look at a few things, and I think it's just a lot of little issues that we had. But obviously, Aura probably one of the strongest teams in Prem this season, and they've been together for a long time, so there's quite a lot of synergy there, similar to like how we've been playing for so long. So it's good to see like they're actually putting good results out there,
Eames, Thaga just said that you're one of the strongest team in the league, but right now the results don't really show that. But you've played like arguably maybe 3 of the best teams in the league so far with Ascend and Feint. Do you have good faith that the upcoming weeks will be more shining for you?
Yeah, well, it's definitely been probably the hardest start we could have had. I don't know, I feel like we played pretty well in all of our games so far, but just ended up mostly through just sort of shooting ourselves in the foot a lot. I thought we were going to actually manage to finally hold a good situation in a map and not give it up, but we did that today as well. So for instance, yeah, I felt like we probably should have deserved points out of Ascent and more than one against Fade, definitely. But whatever. Hopefully the rest of the season should be a lot easier, and we had our trial by fire, and now we can just do well and hopefully reach playoffs. Yeah,
everything's going to look really easy going on the next weeks. Thag, I'm looking at your next games, and you played Aura, and the next games are Ascent and Feint, or Feint and Ascent, I think, something along these lines. So it's going to be probably a step up in the skill level. Do you look forward to these? Do you have anything special planned for these 2 games?
No, just going to do the usual of, winning.
Oh, okay. I don't think Abs is going to agree with that. I'm going to look forward to the next game. But this is a question for both of you. There was a lot of hype before this season. A lot of things were happening. A lot of really strong teams were forming. Do you both believe that there was an increase in skill level in Prem this season? How do you read this season so far?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it's really weird. I was feeling quite demotivated after the LAN. It's going to be a shit season. We're just going to have some random players because Scruff and Gink or Scruff and Eskimo aren't playing. And I was considering for a week, just not playing the season. And then I saw the rosters that were playing, and I was like, holy shit! I mean, holy hell! This season's going to be fucking good. So, holy heck, the season's going to be good. So, yeah, I think it's really good. Everyone's up there. Even the lower table, the teams you expect to be lower in the table, they still could put up a pretty good fight against anyone. So, yeah, it's good.
Do you agree with that statement, Thaga? Do you think the skill level has increased after LAN? For Prem, at least. I think we've lost Thaga. This is probably.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. Sorry, what?
Do you agree with Eames when he says that there's an increase in the skill in Prem this season compared to the previous seasons?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's probably a clear favorite, but then the people who are in playoffs is a lot more contested than it usually is. Usually there's a top 3, and then maybe one team, 2 or 3 teams might contest for the 4th spot. Whereas this time it's I don't know, 5 or 6 could probably contest for all top 4 spots.
Okay, I don't know, Samski, if you have any more questions to ask.
No, you've covered it really well. I'm just excited to see how the rest of this season unfolds, and I really hope that Elektro get some good games under their belt to bring back I don't know if confidence is a thing, but obviously, looking at yourself right at the bottom of the table and wanting to be in playoffs, it's obviously going to be difficult because you don't want to be dropping any more points when they're games that you shouldn't be, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm really hoping that it can be turned around, and I'm looking forward to casting and seeing other games being casted, great games coming forth into the season.
I'd be genuinely surprised if Aura drop any more points after this. My thing right now. I'm pretty sure they'll beat everyone else.
Well,
you underestimate the extent of the Aura choke.
Well, we've heard it first. Samski is gonna be biased next time he casts Aura Elektro. So I say we take everyone out with some shoutouts. Eames, you're first. Do you have any shoutouts?
Tiger, go first. I'm eating.
Well, Tiger goes first then.
Shout out to my team. Shout out to Aura Elektro. Shout out to casters. That's it.
Eames, I hope you're done eating.
Kind of. Shout out to my team. Shout out to Classy. And yeah, that's it. Shout out to the production. I'm sure it was a good cast.
Samski.
I don't have really any shout outs, I guess. Just shout outs to you, Ombrack, and Beta on the camera, our new production guy. I hope you come back and cast as well, Beta. And obviously shout out to Copenhagen Games and S31 Trading, our sponsors for this season.
Yeah, so that was it. That was week 3 of season 31 premiership, sponsored by Copenhagen and S31. This was Se7en against Aura Elektro. Se7en wins it 5-1 after a hell of a game. You should stay tuned to what's happening on TFT2 because there's a cool game happening on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. This is going to be Ascent against Feint, so once again it should be a crunch. So stay tuned. This was Samski, Ombrack, and Beater on camera, and we'll see you soon.